I don't want to say it's been unfair to Mac Jones, but 3 years in, you kind of know he's not the guy, and you do need to reset at the position.
No doubt. And we can talk about how he didn't, it could have been better or wasn't fair to him. That's all true. But I think you have seen enough to know what he's going to be at his best, probably, right? Mm-hmm. Which would be pretty good, but not differentiatingly good. And if you have a chance to get a lot better, that's why I say, even look at the Bears situation. People think that Justin Fields has this great talent and upside. We've seen probably what it's going to be like. If you have an eval on somebody who can be a lot better than that, you got to do it.
What are some of the thumbnail sketches you've heard on
Okay,
some of
so
these guys?
I do a podcast every week with Randy Mueller, who's a former 3-time GM, and he's a great evaluator, and he's really good on the quarterbacks. And so I've learned a lot from him. And he's real big on, being able to tell how comfortable they are in the pocket, because you got to win there eventually. It doesn't matter who you are, how well you can run. The game, at its essence, gets reduced to that. And whether you can do that is what differentiates you on these biggest stages. And of course, it helps if you can do all the other stuff and make plays happen. But you have to be able to do that. So, Caleb Williams, yes. I think in our discussion, his evals, yes. Caleb Williams, and then Daniels from LSU, I think would be next. Not as high on Maye. That's one where the media seems to really have him high.
Yeah.
But maybe some of the
Daniels has jumped Maye.
Daniels
and we're
is
not even close to the draft yet.
Yeah, Daniels is going to be above him, and then I think Penix is really interesting too from Washington. I think he's a pure thrower. Passer.
So why can't we take Marvin Harrison at 3 and get Penix back in at the bottom of the first?
Absolutely, go for it. The only reason you can't is if someone else takes him, which I think he would be gone by then, unless there's some kind of a setback or concern.
I told you, Michael.
I
told you.
I think Penix will be gone, but in the first half of the first round.
Oh, no kidding!
Oh, talking about overdraft.
Where do you have McCarthy going? J.J. McCarthy from Michigan.
Well, so it's an interesting combo. So. Randy thinks that he's going to climb up high. He thought he could. He thought he can go. Now this is before the championship game, but he thought that once people see him and are on him, because he felt like because they didn't know he was coming out, people are later to do the eval on him. But Randy was thinking he could be. I don't want to put words in his mouth. Was thinking he'd be in the top 10. Could be up there as well too.
Wow,
so I think we could see a couple of the evals on Penix and J.J. McCarthy. I don't think they're going to fall, right?
Right. No. It's only when you're a quarterback, you can really only go up.
Once people look at him, they're not going to see things that are bad. They're going to see the things that are good.
And where you're going to fall in love with him is the one-on-one throwing and the personal workouts. I played for 10 years, and I knew when you get and you throw a ball with Elway, and Bledsoe came in. And I called my dad at that. I'm like, yeah, he's the guy. Because there's a different way. There's a different way the ball pops. And if JJ can blow guys away in the one-on-ones, you're like, they could all of a sudden go, oh, we got something here. And the kid's a winner. That's a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, the league is famous for pushing these guys up as it is, right? Even when they're not the number 1 overall pick, we see Jared Goff or whoever go. They're good, but they're not Elway or anything like that. I think there's some real passers, it looks like, in this draft, that are going to catch people's eye, and you're going to want to do it.
Mike, will Bill Belichick coach again?
I kind of think not. That's hard to say, but I thought really when Atlanta was interested, I thought he was going to go there because what comes along with having interest in him. Were they surprised that he wanted to have control of stuff, right? Could you see him, you guys can answer this better than me, could you see him going somewhere and sort of having a shared role?
No.
Not really.
I mean, unless he has a history with the guy and respects him.
If that's your only
option. We
didn't
have that with McKay.
Yeah.
Right. No, but I thought McKay could be out of there, could be pushed out of there, and he kind of was moved around. I mean, he got his titles kind of.
Business end of it.
Yeah, business end of the deal. So I was a little surprised that didn't come together because if it takes an owner to want him. Look at the hires this year. All of these hires this year, even Jim Harbaugh to some degree, even though he's a stronger personality, all of these hires supported the front office guys. Okay, the structure that was there. John Snyder's the GM in Seattle. He got the control with Pete Carroll gone. He's not bringing in someone. He's bringing in a teammate, a partner. He's not bringing in a boss, okay? Rich McKay, they didn't bring in a boss. They brought in a partner. Raheem's going to work well with them. They're playing nice together, right? Even Jim Harbaugh, as quirky as he is, gives a lane for John Spanos, the son of the owner, to be involved. Because Jim is a football guy. He's going to mostly coach the team. Yes, he's going to have say, but he's not going to take over the minute-to-minute operations. And I think Bill is. And not ever. It's going to take a very short list of teams that are willing to do that.
So we're a little cynical at times in New England. It's just it's just part of what we do. So I'm going to ask you, you're just looking at New England, outsider looking in, and you've got Elliott Wolf, presumably, as the general manager. You've got Gerard Mayo as your head coach. You've got Alex Van Pelt as your OC, and now Ben McAdoo as assistant to the head coach or something like that. You look at New England and think what? About that structure. Speaking of structures.
Well, I think that Jonathan Kraft is going to be more involved. I think they've been sitting there watching Bill Belichick not let their key cards work to come into the football side. And so now what do? You hire Gerard Mayo, who's not going to get a head coaching job with another team, right? He's sort of dependent on them, so deferring to them, right? And so now who's hiring the staff? I don't know what they're doing, but a lot of times when you get GMs hiring the staff, you get this name or that name, but you don't always know what the fit is, right? What that's going to be. The biggest example of that was Carolina last year. Oh, we got Jim Caldwell, we got all these names you've heard of, but that's not a team. Right, that they didn't work well together. So I don't know how the fit. Maybe those guys are all a seamless fit. From afar, I look at it as, hey, the Crafts have been frozen out of this thing for a long time, and now they've got their seat at the table. And so, is Jonathan Kraft being groomed to take a GM role in the future? Does he get to sort of do this through the draft or whatever? Right? Because you even said, is it kind of Elliott Wolf? What is it? We don't really know. But those guys who've been shut out for a long time are not. And so I can't imagine they're going to just turn it over to someone else right away. They're going to want to have a say, right?
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.